Welcome to this episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. I'm Taylor Burton-Edwards, Liturgy Man with Discipleship Ministries of the United Methodist Church. I'm your apportionment dollars at work to help you strengthen worship and the understanding of worship where you are. Today I'd like to talk about how to read Scripture well in worship and really how to prepare others to read Scripture well in worship. It's three very simple principles. The first is read at about twice the volume of your normal volume of speaking conversationally to others. Double it. Second, read at about half the pace, about half the speed at which you would normally speak in conversation with each other. So twice the volume, half the speed. Third, read confidently. Read with confidence. This does not mean that you're necessarily going to be reading it perfectly. And what I want to say to you is, it's less important that you get every single word exactly right according to someone's standard for pronunciation. It's much more important that what you read confidently. If you read it confidently, even if there are mistakes, those will get ignored, because the flow of your reading will carry them from one place to the next, from the beginning to the end of your reading. So, how do you teach these things? Well, actually teaching people how to do twice the volume and half the speed isn't all that hard. People know how to double their volume that they would normally speak in conversation. They can probably do that without any more instruction than simply a reminder, double the volume. Half the speed might be a bit more difficult, especially if you're trying to teach this to others, because people may be a little bit nervous when you're trying to teach them this. So just be gentle as you're coaching them to think intensively and intentionally about slowing down. Confidence may be the most difficult thing to teach, but it's actually not difficult to obtain. Really, what I always teach and what I actually practice is the night before you're going to do a reading, particularly a reading in a space you've never been before, practice that reading, the entire thing from beginning to end, 5 times through, again, at twice the volume, half the speed. In the course of those 5 rehearsals at home, you will have identified and worked through both how you need to make your vocal cords and body work to read that reading well, to make all of the phrases come out appropriately. You will also have identified those individual words or those places in phrases where you find yourself stumbling a bit. And over the course of the 5 rehearsals, you will have probably got to the place by the end of it that the stumbling is over and you've got a confident reading. Then arrive the next morning in plenty of time to go through the whole reading in the space where you will read it, with whatever sound equipment is being used in that space, available with a sound technician to assist. Do that 3 times before worship. The first time through will essentially be your sound check for yourself and for the sound technician. The second time through will be kind of your pacing check, to make sure that the pacing is still working. And the third time through will be your real rehearsal, as it were, for how you'll probably do it in worship later that morning. If you do these simple practices, twice the volume, half the speed, 5 times through the night before, 3 times through in the space that morning, you will find that indeed you will read powerfully and confidently when the time comes. Hope this has been helpful. Remember, you can always contact me, worship@liturgyfolks.com, through our UMC Worship Facebook group, or drop a line on this page. And perhaps your question or comment will become the basis for a future episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. May the peace of Christ be always with you.